Coming up on this episode of the Village Idiom.
Beautiful.
We view peas as kind of like a commonality type thing. Because I don't want to get into a situation where it's my peas and her peas.
Dum, dum, da, da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every week chooses a popular saying to take a shallow but hopefully comedic, and once in a while even interesting dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but we're also going to use it to hang an otherwise directionless conversation on. My name is Jurassic Mark, and I'll be wearing the normal jacket this episode.
I'm Skitty. So,
Explain.
well, the both of us, we have so many similarities, actually. And when you were like, oh man, I'm going to wear like my jacket, my leather jacket, and I'm like, God, is it actually leather or is it pleather jacket? Because I don't have a leather jacket, but I have this knockoff kind of pleather one.
Yeah,
it's more plasticky than leather.
I mean, I would have to see it up close to realize it's plastic.
Yeah, like from a distance, it's one of those it's far from good and it's good from far kind of jackets.
Yeah,
but I really like the way that the shoulders square off and
totally.
Anyways, makes
you have shoulder pads or no?
No, this is all
natural.
me. This is all me. Oh yeah. No, I don't know. Like this is no implants into my shoulder implants or nothing like that.
Classy.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel. Is like what you see, what you get.
Let me see the brand name. Scubalon.
No, it's actually Glad brand.
You'll have to go listen to episode 143 to get that one.
This jacket makes me so happy. It's my Glad jacket.
It's nice.
Yeah. So good. Anyways,
hefty or glad?
Hefty and glad.
Yeah. All right. Well, good to see you. We are back at it with another idiom for you guys today, and I know I'm happy to be here. Here's a little snippet into what we're talking about today.
Oh, look at us, two peas in a pod.
There it is.
Little Sheldon?
Yep, that's right. We dress alike, so you mixed it up so that we wouldn't look like two peas in a pod.
Yeah, because often it's uncanny how sometimes we prepare some similar material pieces, we dress the exact same, and basically it's like you can't tell us apart at times. Like we come into a room and it's like we get mistaken one for another because we're so similar.
All the time.
All the time that happens.
I'm sorry, I'm a little confused here because that music you hear in the background.
Yeah.
I pressed stop on.
That's okay.
And yet it's still playing.
It's got a good groove to it.
I can't figure it out.
Well.
Oh, there we go.
You got it. You got this figured.
I'll just fade this out.
It's a real sharp fade. But anyways, two peas in a pod. Here we go.
Two peas in a pod. Do you remember like mid 80s, early 80s when spandex bike shorts were kind of popular for boys? Like not bicyclists, like dudes wearing bike shorts.
Like unless you're a biker and not a biker, in which case you'd beat up a biker who was wearing said bike shorts.
I think it was a summer version of hairband spandex wearing.
Yeah, you're basically just wearing like super tight ginch at that point.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
ginch. That's a funny word.
I remember one time giving that fashion idea a go, and as soon as somebody referenced me as two peas in a pod, I'm like, never again.
Two peas and a pod?
Two peas and a pod.
Oh, dear.
Oh, yeah. No, it wasn't good. Well, we're going to talk about two peas in a pod, and we're going to do a game today.
Oh, I like it already.
So, first of all, when you were growing up, I probably spend a lot more time with you now than this other friend I'm referring, but the guy who was best man at my wedding, we were like inseparable, like kindergarten through graduation. We were in the group together, touring, doing music, and so often our parents were calling us two peas in a pod. Like we did everything together all the time. I think your mom has said it about us, though.
Funny
to me. But anyway, I was going to ask you, did you have like that best friend that just like lasted the years?
Yeah.
Or a sibling?
Yes to all of the above. But like one of my childhood friends, it's not until recent where like it's nothing bad happened. It's more like just your interest changed. They live like however many hundreds of kilometers away, and you just, if you don't keep up enough. But yeah, we, so I would still consider him a friend, but not like not a two peas in a pod type friend.
But used to be.
Yeah, used to be, and still friends after like since grade 2 or 3 or something like that. So
yeah,
it's just just things happen. I think it's one of those like life fantastic lessons. Make sure you are a diverse person and you have diverse interests and you have lots of variety of things that you know a little something about,
like scuba or
so that you
kind of diverse interests.
Well, particularly like free divers. So that you're not pigeonholed into one thing.
Yeah.
And so it's when it's so narrow and your interest field is so narrow, you just like eliminate 95% of the pond to connect with.
95% of the pod.
Yes. Yeah, you're like the peas in the pod, except you're like that pea at the end that's discolored and just off.
I found that two peas in a pod. We'll get into it in Origins in a little bit, but the way it's used, I think it's used kind of two different ways, because it's used to talk about two things that are kind of identical to each other. The two peas in a pod, like they're so the same. Mm-hmm. But I think it's also referenced as people who are just joined at the hip. Like, oh yeah, they're two peas in a pod. Like they go everywhere together. It's not about their similarities. It's that you never see them apart.
Maybe, yeah.
You know?
I mentally go to like common interests or common whatever. It's like they're just the same person. Two peas in a pod.
Well, that's we'll get into Origins. That's its original meaning is about identity, identical.
I wrote you a little
poem?
A little joke. Okay. So, famous vegetarian person Yoko Ono. Yoko Ono, famous vegetarian, but normally with in her vegetarian diet, she was Japanese foods like dagon or renkon or lotus root, shiitake, this sort of thing.
Scubalon.
Yep. And it wasn't until she met John Lennon who encouraged her to give peas a chance.
I had that joke in my notes, but still didn't see it coming.
You have a joke like that in your notes?
That exact joke, give peas a chance.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's creepy.
But
no, I wrote that fresh.
I still didn't see it coming.
Oh, that's good.
That's a fresh peas joke.
Yeah.
Fresh peas.
Not like a old Black Eyed Peas. I've seen the Black Eyed Peas in concert.
Have you really?
Yes.
Did you see them this weekend on the Global Citizen concert?
Nope.
So no more Fergie. Was Fergie with?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, it was
Fergie
I don't know the
Will.i.am.
name of the new female singer with them, but they were a part of the Global Citizens 24-hour around the globe concert thing that nobody really knows what they were raising money for.
Yeah, that sounds suspect.
It was global, like every country, every major artist.
Except that the first time hearing about it is now.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, I stumbled upon it when I hit my Google TV thing, and up comes Live Now, YouTube Global Citizen concert, and I'm like, is that actually live now, or is that static?
Like making it on like the level of like Farm Aid or World Aid?
But in
30
different countries.
And I'm not hearing about it till this minute.
Yeah. Should look it up.
This sounds made up.
You
could be making
a lot
it
of good music, but still not really sure what the cause was.
At least it was like Live Aid or something. You knew they were doing like AIDS awareness or something.
I'm surprised they could do concerts
Aid
this size in this many different cities around the world.
Band-Aid.
In this season with masks and whatnot. Excuse me. Speaking of which.
Oh, great. Oh, here it comes.
I just inhaled my own saliva.
That was the moment. Caught on recording. Great.
Anyway, I got a different game for you today.
Sure.
So usually
you're like the guy from Saw. Go ahead.
Let's play a game. Usually I give you three options of where the origins might come from. This is just a true or false game.
Okay.
So it's not about origins.
Village Idiom children, while you're running along on your treadmill, your elliptical, you're doing your track, you're running around Tynehead, you're going for a walk, you're on your drive to work, you are on your way to the brokerage, or whatever you do with your life. Play along and see if you can beat me on this true or false game, and go.
All right. True or false? Two peas in a pod used to have a negative connotation. If a gardener discovered a pea pod with only two peas in it, he would be disappointed. It came to be used to indicate when two people were exclusive, almost like two's company, three's crowd. They're two peas in a pod. They don't let anybody in.
Wow. I've never heard of it in a negative context before. So I'm going to go with that's a false. It's always been positive.
Correct.
I was getting prepared for a double whammy.
All right. True or false? Prior to the 17th...
Oh, there's more.
There's 3 of these.
Oh, so exciting.
Prior to the 17th century, when talking about peas, the singular form of the word wasn't pea, but still peas. P-E-A-S-E. This is where I was going to throw in my give peas a chance joke. More than one peas were peases. And this was true in the time of war and of peas.
So stupid.
True or false? The singular
salad
form
and
was
savior.
still peas, even if you had only one peas. And if you had more than one peas, you had peases.
I love the lack of continuity in English, where stuff doesn't always have to make sense to be a rule. But I'm going to say that peas are a multiple, and it's just a single pea. If it's an individual pea, yep.
So you're saying false again.
I'm going to go with whatever version of the answer that you were looking for that makes pea singular a word, not peas singular.
True or false? Prior to the 17th century, when talking about peas, the singular form of the word wasn't pea, but peas.
Yeah, exactly.
False.
Yes.
Well, this is true.
What?
Singular pea was peas.
No.
And you would have more than one peas, you would have peases.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So they shortened it
Peases?
through language. It got shortened. Except for, what did I read? There's one British meal.
Peas and gravy.
Like mushy peas?
Mushy peas, yeah.
But there's a name for it. I can't think of it now that they still use. Peas something. Like pea soup, but peas soup. You wouldn't even hear it in that one. Pea soup. Did you hear it?
No. Well, that's
There's
very different than
peas-
peases.
Peas
Like
something.
the Lord. It's peasas. Like that. That's very different than peas.
Peas.
There's like peas, and then what you're saying, which is
Peases.
peasas.
More than one peas.
It sounds like you're making this up.
Peas.
Please, Eddie. Thanks, Roger Rabbit.
Okay, so you got that one wrong. It was true.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm 50-50.
Last one. True or false? This idiom actually has a seemingly unrelated spin-off to it. In the Middle Ages, again, if someone accused two of being 2 peas in a pod, a lighthearted retort was, no, we don't even have a pod to put peas in. This implied a comical form of being destitute or poor, and the more crass of said culture took that phrase and turned it into, I don't have a pot to piss in. Keeping the original meaning, I don't have a pod to put peas in. I'm too poor to have that.
I'm going to say that's a false.
Yeah, that's way false. Like,
Yeah.
that's a stretch to even put that one out there.
Yes. Even outside of the PG-ness of it, it just sounds wrong. So I
2
went with
peas in a
wrong.
pod. We don't even have a pod to peas in.
So I like to think 66%. C+.
Yeah, you did great. Nicely done.
That's it, folks.
That's
and in life, isn't that just enough? Isn't
That's
66% C+? That's a good day, right? It's a good day.
Sure.
It's not a D.
It's
not
a pass.
Not an F. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 pass in a pod. Passes.
Oh, I see. So
Well, should we get into
pass.
it?
Well, that's a single pass. Is a pass.
Yeah, it used to be pa. All right, well, this is getting terrible.
Well, let's get into some origins.
Said some words, where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind. Origins.
Do you like peas?
I like them. Deb loves them. And I think it's one of those things that has really bound us together over the years. Because
beautiful.
we view peas as kind of like a commonality
So
type thing. Because I don't want to get into a situation where it's my peas and her peas. Because that sounds like, it's not. That's like not a good thing.
So peas or peasas have actually brought you together.
Thank you, illegitimate children out there. I can see the smirk on your
They
face.
made you 2 peas in a pod. Peas did.
No, I was going back. I was thanking the children for laughing along with my terrible
Did I miss a joke?
my peas and her peas. And I was doing a herpes joke.
Herpes.
Herpes.
Oh.
You don't get enough. There's not enough
I
venereal
didn't hear
venereal
it.
jokes in
I
our podcast.
I did not hear it.
It's a herpes.
So I still don't know if you like peas.
Yes. I can't think of many things that I don't like.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not a picky eater, but I think peas are one of those things where it's all in how it's cooked. Because I like cold peas in a salad or whatever.
But you don't like
mushy
and herpes.
I don't like herpes.
Yeah. Having there's a place called Peaked Pie. Peaked Pies. Went to one in Whistler, but there's a couple in Vancouver. Anyways, you can you get your...
Just for the record, that's not static you're hearing in this episode. That's Skinny's pleather jacket.
It's almost real.
Yeah, it's real. I can see
it is real. And so you can have so the pie is basically your standard like chicken pot pie kind of sized things, but then you can have it peaked, which is they mound on mashed potatoes and green peas and then gravy.
Awesome.
Yeah, to make this kind of like mountain looking thing. Yeah, like snow capped with gravy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, peaked pies. So do you want it peaked? Yeah, get your pie and get it peaked.
Well, anyway,
and it's got mushy peas on it.
We played
That's
the
mushy
Origins jingle and then talked about how much we like or dislike peas.
Okay, continue.
So, of course, this simile, not so much an idiom.
That's a metaphor using like or as.
Thank you. Comes from the fact that two peas that are in the same pod are virtually indistinguishable. So this phrase, sometimes given as like as two peas, is quite old, and it goes all the way back to the 16th century. So, for example, I'm going to pronounce it Lily, L-Y-L-Y. Would you say Lily or Lily? L-Y-L-Y.
Lily.
Yeah?
L-I-L-Y is how you spell Lily.
No, L-Y-L-Y.
Lily?
Lily?
Lily. It's got to be
Lily.
Lily.
Lily. John Liley. John Lilly used the phrase in Euphues and in his England, 1580. It says this: "Wherein I am not unlike unto the unskillful painter, who, having drawn the twins of Hippocrates, who were as like as one peas is to another." So that's 16th century. It goes back to there. Lily's use of peas, P-E-A-S-E, is the singular form in that sentence, just like we were talking about earlier. So that was the norm in Tudor England.
Wow.
It was not pea, it was peas. Here it is. Peas pudding is basically mushy peas, and that's still a dish that they still call peas pudding. But there's actually people trying to protect the word peas, P-E-A-S-E, because even when you say peas pudding, it sounds like you're just saying the plural word of peas.
It's peas.
Yeah, but you don't say that for soup. You say pea soup.
Not yet have I heard you
Pea
use
pudding.
peas
Pea pudding.
in anything yet.
But this is peas soup, singular.
Peas is soup.
No.
There's just one pea in there?
No, they use, it's like pea soup. There's more than one pea in there, but you don't say.
So it's peas is
You
soup.
don't say apples pie.
I see.
You say the singular form.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm following.
Pumpkins pie. We should say that. I'm gonna start. I'd like rhubarb's pie.
People just like look at you sideways.
Do you have strawberries pie? Strawberries shortcake. Can we get that?
Right.
I mean, when we don't even say chocolate chips cookies. There's lots of chocolate chips in there. Why don't we say that why don't we pluralize food? Like, can I have corns on the side?
Corns on the cob?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's awesome. It makes things
You want some
sound...
popcorn?
Popcorns.
Here you go.
It's just a popcorn.
It has popcorn. I want popcorns.
And many popcorns is popcornus.
Oren, yeah. Why don't we pluralize? Anyway, peas soup, peas pudding is singular.
Right.
Yeah.
Pea soup, but peas soup.
Anyway, that's the extent of origins. That's all there is to it. Two peas in a pod. They're indistinguishable from each other. But it is funny. I said that as a false example earlier. There's never two peas in a pod. Like, that would be disappointing if there was only two peas in one pod, right? There's usually like, 6, 7, 8 in there.
Well, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two peas in a pod. That's ignoring the other 8 in there.
What about but it's not like those guys. That group is like 6 peas in a pod.
Right. Sure.
Right. It's like some Chernobyl pieces.
Pieces. Anyway.
2 peas in a pod.
There you go.
What's this from?
That's from The Good Place.
She's
That
funny.
was her name Janice? Janet?
Janet. Yeah.
Peas in a pot. Oh, wait, here's a good one. This is from Adventure Time.
There are two wackadoo peas in a wackadoodle pot.
All right.
Well, it's nice as well for those of you who have had lifelong friends. It's nice to have a what does she refer to in Anne of Green Gables? A bosom friend.
Bosom buddies?
Bosom
Bosom
buddy.
brothers?
I think that was different. So I think the bosom was more bosom.
Well, in the TV show.
In the TV show.
Because they were dressing.
Because they're dressing as ladies. But yeah, the Anne of Green Gables, Anne Shirley, was that what her name was? Anne something.
Yeah. No idea.
Of Green Gables. Yeah, she would refer to people, her bosom friend. Like, so having someone so close, 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bosom
Thick-
doesn't
thick as thieves.
mean, in that sense, boobs. Bosom is like,
PG, yep.
like
No, it's like
close to your heart.
yeah. In that same way as you can like walk abreast.
Like there,
Like a side to
isn't
side.
there
It's
songs, old
not-
hymns
it's
and
not-
scriptures about the bosom of Abraham?
Sure.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, Abraham wasn't walking around chesty. I mean,
That just makes things.
unless it's Babraham.
I guess I don't know. There's no pictures. There's no proof.
no pictures.
I know I'm not here to assume. Yeah, that he wasn't packing, but I just don't think so. Yeah, you're meaning it's like in the company of, and it's nice
Yeah,
to have.
yeah.
It's nice to have that good company, that tight friendship, that tight circle. You're the music singing group that you're part of.
Yeah.
Me, like I'm amazing for you.
Yeah.
And this sort of thing. So
Yeah, we're bosom buddies.
yeah. One of us is more bosomy than the other one, but
One's the bosom, one's the buddy.
I'm working on it. Okay, I've got a thyroid condition.
Oh, see, I wasn't even connecting. You make me laugh.
So anyway.
the weight jokes.
Okay.
If people ever get mad that I make a weight joke at his expense, he says it 90 times more than I do. And I'm not exactly slim here, so. Anyway,
You're doing good.
I'm going the wrong direction.
Well, it's you and your skinny
That'd
jeans.
be a great boy band. A bunch of overweight older guys. Wrong direction.
Wrong direction. Walking coronary, ladies and gentlemen. Walking coronary. Well, we are running. We are into the.
Yeah, we need to wrap it up.
Into the home stretch here. We got to get on.
We got batteries to conserve.
Oh my goodness, there's so much conservation going on over here. Let's do it.
All right, well, why don't we get into a little game then? Riddle Link is a game that we like to play. It takes a 2-part trivia-based question, requires a 2-part overlapping answer, overlapping by word, syllable, words, whatever. For example, last week we did, our idiom was rain or shine, and we left you with this little doozy. No matter if it's... No, did I change it? No, that's it. No matter if it's pouring or not, this is an upbeat REM song.
So, rain or shiny happy people?
That's it. Rain or shiny happy people.
What?
So you got rain or shine and shiny happy people. That's how you play Riddle Link.
REM. Everybody hurts sometimes. And now's your time. Village Idiom children, jump in.
Those are kind of polar opposite songs.
Okay, so this one is tricky, so I'm going to need you to hone in on the goods here. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
That black-eyed pea writes verse in 2x5 syllables of unstressed, stressed patterns.
So read it again. I got it.
That black-eyed pea writes verses in 2x5 syllables in an unstressed, stressed pattern.
Fergie poetry.
No,
Will iambic pentameter.
that's the one. Wow, I wasn't sure if you pull up iambic pentameter.
Will iambic. I can't even say it now. Iambic pentameter.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Did you know that was the pattern for an iambic pentameter? Or
No,
did
I
you
had
look
to
it up
look
how
that-
to describe it?
I had to look that up.
Yeah.
And then condense it down.
Interesting. Okay, I got one for you.
Yeah.
You might call them this because they are so alike, except one roommate is neat and the other is a slob. Let me read it again. You might call them this because they are so alike, except one roommate is neat and the other is a slob.
2 peas in a pod. Oh, pod couple.
That's it.
2 peas in a pod couple. Oh man.
So
Oscar
I
and
like
Felix.
this one because 2 peas in a pod, and they're opposite of each other. It's like
That's funny.
a little oxymoron riddling here for you.
Oh, I like it. That's good. I was going old school there. Okay, Village Idiom children, chime in. That duo is basically identical as they drive the course with Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, easy peasy.
That duo
Easy
is
peasy. See how I brought in peas again?
That
Easy
duo-
peases.
that duo is basically identical as they drive the course with Anakin Skywalker.
Just giving everybody a time to yell at their radio. It is 2 peas in a pod race.
That's it.
Great. Okay, well, I got one more I'm going to leave for all our village-legitimate children out there. How can they play along?
You can reach out to us on Instagram at the.village.idiom or email us thevillageidiompodcast@gmail.com, or whether it's the Facebooks, the YouTubes, or the Twitters, as they say, at 3 Minutes Gone.
We should make it easier. There's so many versions of that. 3 Minutes Gone and Village Idiom. And
It's a good carryover.
yeah, it is what it is. This isn't like iHeartRadio over here.
No, it's definitely not iHeartRadio.
All right, here's one for everybody out there. We'll leave it dangle-annoying for you to answer and be a part of our team. It's, this British word for diapers is like a couple of very alike individuals in a single place.
One more time.
This British word for diapers is like a couple of very alike individuals in a singular place.
You have to think about that, and that is 3 Minutes Gone. Good job, man. Well,
Fun times.
we've headed into the home stretch here. We want to make sure we are respectful of your time. So while you're out ellipticizing, while you're out tread mastering, while you're out driving or scooting or biking, in whatever way you listen to the podcast, have a great day out there.
Yeah.
I'm Skitty.
I'm the other P, Jurassic Mark.
The other white P.
The other white P.
And this is the Village Idioms.
Last 3 minutes gone.